we take an adult and critical perspective into the world of cartoons and animation, and analyze how they affect the pop cultural landscape at large. I'm one of your hosts, Nikki.
I'm Nina.
And I'm super excited!
We have a very special episode this week. I'm super nervous. We have landed our first interview with industry professionals. This week we are talking to Zach Bellissimo and Tara Billinger, creators of the Gone Gulch pilot crowdfunding campaign that we talked about a few weeks back. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
Pretty excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be nervous. We won't bite.
And this is sort of a two-way thing. We're here to help promote their Kickstarter, which it's a GoFundMe, which we're super excited about the idea of that seeing the light of day. I've pledged myself. I gave $150 right after buying a car, which my other sister was trying to talk me down. I was like, no, I got to do this. I'm gonna look like a real jerk if I don't.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I really want to see this cartoon get made.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we've never had an opportunity to sit down and talk with industry professionals. We follow a lot of, people in the animation industry because the industry is more transparent now than it has ever been with social media and all that. So we feel like we've got a decent idea of how this stuff is actually made and how difficult and expensive it can be. And we want to talk to somebody who is actually in it, who knows stuff for real.
Very cool. Well, glad you guys chose us to be the first.
Actually, you sort of chose yourself by reaching out to us, because we asked people previously, and then you guys were you seemed so into it and thankful, and we were just like, hey, let's just ask them. Just shot in the dark. Let's go for it.
Well, I mean,
I hope you don't regret it. So
you got to be thankful because people are, they're liking your stuff and they're, either donating or sharing. So,
We appreciate every bit
of
it.
You gotta show appreciation.
Of course.
all right, so I guess to get started, just for our listeners who haven't paid attention to our coverage of your project, who are you guys? What do you do? What do you work on? And then I guess more specifics about the project itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Zach, you want to go first?
Okay, I'm Zach Bellissimo. Right now, I am a storyboard artist on Teen Titans Go over at Warner Brothers. I've also worked on Rick and Morty as a character designer. I've worked at Titmouse doing animation stuff for Motor City and Super Jail.
Sorry, I have a lot of feelings. I have a lot of feelings about Motor City.
Yeah, a lot of people have asked us to cover Motor City, and we definitely want to do it, but it's such a...
It's a sad story.
It took me forever to watch it because I knew I would be upset because it had already ended.
Yeah.
I think I watched the last few episodes before you even got to them, while you were working on them.
Well, yeah. That was my first industry job, was doing cleanup on the final episode of season 2. It was my Titmouse called me for an internship, and I went in and had me clean up some Lord Stingray.
Cool.
Funny because it's voiced by Eric Bauza, who's our friend, and I was like, yo, dude, I'm cleaning up your character right now.
Aw, cool.
Small world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. Sorry to interrupt. Continue.
That was it.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I more meant I didn't want to divert the conversation, and suddenly we forgot to do Tara's. So.
It's okay. You didn't know what school you went to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm originally from New York. I went to the School of Visual Arts in Manhattan. And after I worked at Titmouse, there's a New York branch of Titmouse. After I worked there for about a year and a half, maybe, I moved out here just because there's more opportunities here in California.
Yeah, I go to Pratt here in Brooklyn, so you guys are kind of our rivals. So
I submitted to Pratt and they denied me. So
well, you turned out just fine.
I hope so.
And Tara, what's your animation history?
So originally I was in comic books when I was in high school, and I worked at Slave Labor Graphics for a short time. And then
They're known for, doing Johnny the Homicidal Maniac and
Lenore and Squee. I worked with Jonah, and I worked with
Dirge
and Drew Roush.
Yep.
So cool.
That is really cool.
And then after that, I moved back to California, which is where I'm originally from. And I didn't go to school. I'm all self-taught.
That's
Rad.
amazing.
So I knew what I wanted to do animation since I was very young. And while I was in high school, I just networked a lot. And I went to tons of events. I went to Comic-Con. I've been going for like over 10 years now. I kept in touch with creators and people I admired. And then once I moved to California, I started to like hang out with these people and go to parties and events. And they said, "Oh, if you ever come out, we'll hook you up with a job somehow." And I'm like, yeah, sure, ha ha ha. And now I'm here.
Well, what do you work on?
I work at Disney TV animation, and I'm currently a character designer on the Mickey Mouse shorts.
They're so cute.
They're really cute.
I mean, to prepare ourselves as interviewers, we made sure to, look up you guys on IMDb and everything and see what we could find. And, we slam jammed a bunch of Mickey Mouse stuff today, and those cartoons are so good.
Thank you.
Beautiful looking.
It's such an incredible marriage of the golden age sensibilities and the modern cartoon sensibilities. They're incredible.
Yeah.
Did
you work on any of the ones that won Emmys?
I worked on all of them.
Oh my gosh!
I've been on the show since the beginning. Before Mickey Mouse, I was working at Disney TV in development on some things that all got shelved, and they weren't my projects. But while I was working on those projects, Paul Rudish was sitting next to me at the time, developing the Mickey Mouse shorts. And being a total nerd, I would always go to his cube and say like, "Oh, can I see what you got? Or how's it going?" And it was only him at the time, so we would always talk about Disneyland. And he was like, "Yeah, if you ever want to work on this, if this gets picked up, I'll let you know." And I'm like, "Oh, sure, haha, yeah." And then a year later, he called back and says, "You're on it."
I'm noticing a pattern with how you progress career-wise.
Yeah.
I know everybody gets into the industry in different ways, but I feel like that's not really a repeatable method as this one with, okay, haha.
It takes a lot of hard work, and he knew I was working hard on the projects that I was on at the time, so...
Yeah, totally.
He knew I was dedicated to Mickey Mouse, and I'm a big, old Rubber Hose fan, so...
Both are, yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Definitely. So for Long Gone Gulch, like for, again, people who don't know, how would you sort of describe your project and like what you want to do with it and what's it about and so on and so forth?
Well, we want to make a pilot. 5 to 8 minutes. It's about two characters, Snag and Rawhide. They're both kind of goofy screw-ups, and they live in a kind of magical wasteland town called Long Gone Gulch, which is kind of
engulfed in a ever-moving dust cloud. And as it moves, it gathers new myths, folklore, and legends across all of the world. So we want to incorporate myths from China, myths from Japan about yokai, or...
yokai, that's awesome.
You're pressing our buttons.
Yeah, anything that, like, I really love old folklore, and I want people to be
ancient Greek myths, we just want all kinds of different things, mostly things that people haven't
really heard about.
Really seen, like we've seen, like...
But then people can be like, "Oh, my grandma told me about that tale, and then now it's in this episode, and they're hanging out with him,
Yeah.
Yeah, deep
cool.
cut mythology is some of my favorite stuff, because it's always like, oh, you're your Draculas, your mummies, maybe a chupacabra here and there.
Right, yeah. We'll have all those, but we want to focus on more obscure folklore, and even, folklore we made up too. Like, it doesn't have to be existing.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell people how much we want to do within a trailer that's a minute.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like, just, and this is all new information to us, but, like, just from the short trailer alone, like, what we saw, like, that's, like, I'm already sold, and what you're telling us is just selling us more.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
made that within 2 months.
Oh, wow.
And didn't you guys animate that by yourselves?
Yep, it's all done by me and Zach, and
Yep, we had our one other animator friend, Mike, did a couple, maybe like 6 scenes for us, but
we already had the animatic planned out, and we
mhm.
had the whole, like, montage planned out for a while, but just making the animation took about 2 months.
Yeah.
That's I mean, honestly, that's impressive.
That's really impressive. When did you guys, like, decide that this is something that you really wanted to do?
So
I think this is like a 7-year project.
no, it hasn't been that long.
Yeah, it has. It's getting pretty up there.
I think we started in like 2012 is when we thought about it. We were we were watching a certain Western animated film that we won't name by a certain famous studio,
No, I gotcha.
and saying this is bad.
Now I gotcha.
No one's ever done a cool Western cartoon, and we were like, let's try to think of one, because we love Westerns. We love, the Sergio Leone, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh, yeah. Love those Dollars trilogies.
Oh yeah, we love even like the old John Wayne films. Those are great.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to try to do something like that,
but modernize
yeah.
all those characters, the sheriff, the mayor, the prospector, the town idiot. Like, we want to modernize all that.
Mm-hmm. Kind of take the archetypes and just put a spin on it, or modernize it.
Yeah, like half of your cast are like strange aminal characters.
Yeah.
We try to balance it out, because in this world, there's only 2 human characters, which is Snag and Rawhide, and the rest are all folklore and creatures and monsters.
Mm-hmm. Or like famous mythological, like Pecos Bill or John Henry. They don't really count as humans because they're kind of in that realm of mythological.
Uh-huh.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I think my favorite is the jackalope.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the jackalope mayor.
The mayor.
Because jackalopes, it's literally just a normal animal that exists, but it has horns, and I'm like, that's almost feasible if you know nothing about, like, genetics and evolution.
Yeah, people used to think they were real.
Just slap some antlers on that mofo, it's fine.
Yeah, you could believe it. I mean, we have platypuses. I mean,
Yeah, I went through the same thing. When they brought that back to England, all the Englishmen were like, "This is made up. What are you doing?
Yeah,
You're wasting our precious English time."
We could be drinking tea. Or colonizing some other country that doesn't want us there.
There could be a platypus in the town, and they could be like, "Hey, wait a minute, you're not a myth," and he'll be like, "Yes, I am."
I sweat milk. I can't be real.
Oh, I
is this
forgot
your
that
first-
they do that. They're
Yeah.
so weird.
They
So is this the
they're
first-
poisonous too.
Yeah,
But I think only the males.
the males have
It's like
poisonous barbs.
They're like
Yep.
Pokemon. They just like it's like a Pokemon that an 8-year-old kid made up. It's just giving them all the powers.
Yep, they're mammals and they lay eggs, but they're also marsupials. It's like,
They're the omni animal.
yeah, that's like our show. Our show is a platypus.
That's beautiful. That should be your tagline.
Long Gone Gulch. It's a platypus.
It's a platypus.
So is this the first project you guys have ever worked on together?
Well, in college, we have to do thesis films, and Tara helped me on that. She did backgrounds for me and coloring animation, and she was also the voice of the main girl character. I don't know if you guys have checked out.
I saw it earlier today.
Okay.
You're talking about Blenderstein?
Yes, Blenderstein.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's really old. It's like,
Yeah.
dang, I might be like 5 years old right now.
Boy.
That was probably the first animated thing we worked on together. Before that, we just kind of
Through art together.
we did a couple comics together for Dumb Comics. Yeah, just like art together and stuff like that.
Did you meet over the internet or like what?
Yeah. Well,
We were
how long have we known each other? Like almost 9 years now? 10 years maybe?
Yeah. We were competing for a pinup in a comic book at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you guys remember this comic called I Love Halloween. You guys know about that one at all?
It was
Doesn't ring a bell.
Tokyo Pop.
Sorry.
It was kind of popular at the time. It kind of fizzled out, but anyway, it was cool, and they were.
Well, like the rest of Tokyo Pop.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Oh, are they
Yeah,
done?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they've been done for a while.
years.
Oh,
It's very sad.
see, yeah, that's how much I know about comic books anyway. But yeah, they were doing like, submit your fan art to be, you can be in the next issue, and I drew one and Tara drew one, and she got in and I didn't, but I saw her art and I was like, that's really cool. And then we kind of like, were talking for a while, a couple years, maybe like two years or so maybe, and then you said, have you ever been to Comic-Con? And I was like, no. And you're like, you should come. And I was like, okay. And then we can meet. And I was like, okay, that sounds cool. You're a cool artist and everything. And so I went to Comic-Con with a couple of my New York buddies, and
I showed them the California way.
yeah,
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's
I've been changed ever since. But yeah, we really hit it off and just kind of fell for each other, and the rest is history.
aw,
That's awesome.
It's awesome.
that's a lovely story.
We did. I was still in school, so we did long distance for like 4 years.
Do you like being an artist in LA compared to New York?
Yeah. Well, there's more studios out here, so more work. In New York, there was really only Titmouse, and I think Augenblick was around for a bit.
And like some advertising stuff, I know.
Yeah.
You can work on Blue's Clues.
Yeah, or Blue's
Blue's
Clues.
Clues, yeah. I almost got an internship with that lady.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I didn't.
Aw.
Probably for the
It's alright.
best.
So do we want to get into like our some of our prepared questions?
Oh, sure.
I guess.
Let's do it.
Who wants to go? Who wants to go first?
I've been kind of tapping into mine, so you guys
some of
can
what
say
we've asked has
something.
come up. We know that this GoFundMe is for a pilot, and we've covered similar projects in the past. So we know that like this getting funded doesn't mean there's a show; it means you get a pilot. And are you gonna try shopping this around to networks? What exactly is your next step? Do you have that planned out? Are you at liberty to say at this point?
Well, we already have pitched it to every studio.
The thing about today is that they want to see in order to get like certain things. So we just want to make it, and then hopefully later they go, oh, now you have it, so now we can see it. So we might pitch it again afterwards.
Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
yeah, we went to make a pilot, like a really good, solid pilot. We want it to look really professional. We have a bunch of animators and artists in mind. Tara, a lot of Tara's friends on Mickey who are really good at backgrounds.
Oh my god, those backgrounds are gorgeous.
Yeah, they would want to help do our backgrounds.
Mm-hmm. We got a lot of people on board. We just don't want to announce anything before we have no money, Like, we want to...
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Money comes before anything else, really.
Yeah, everyone's already telling us, oh, I want to help you. Oh, do you need this? Do you need voices? Do you need that? And we're like, yes, we would love that, but just not now. we need the money to pay people, so we're not doing any of that until it's funded.
And we want to pay people. It's really important because... people have offered to do stuff for us for free, but it's kind of,
art isn't free.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
like we've been screwed before with, you do this, you get some exposure, and nothing comes of it. So we just want to be fair.
Yeah, so none of the money is going to me and Zach. It's mostly to hire the talented people who would love to be involved, and we want to pay them the amount they would probably get paid for a week at an actual studio. So we just want to make sure that they're good so that they can do the best work for us,
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we were just curious if it was going to stay an independent project or if you wanted to make it something bigger, but...
We know a lot of people, so once we have the pilot, we're going to start maybe shopping around to those people and see what happens then, but we got lots of connections. We'll see if anything goes on after that.
We'll see where it goes, and if maybe something doesn't happen with it, but people on the internet still like it, maybe we'll do another episode or whatever,
Yeah.
We'll certainly keep tabs on it and continue to support it through its through whatever life cycle it takes.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and this is all done while we're currently working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, I was like, you guys have, full-time jobs? Very intense jobs, too.
It's hard enough doing this when we all have jobs and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were making that trailer, and we just had no life, no weekends. We just sacrificed all our time to finish it and work on Mickey and Titans.
Oh, yeah.
So this is just us wanting to do something on our own and something we love.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way we can do that is in our spare time.
Yeah.
That's really good. That I love the dedication, because I feel like I'm an aspiring cartoonist myself, and that's still something I'm trying to learn, is just how to be that dedicated while having other stuff going on in my life and making the time for it.
Yeah, that's a hard part, is about, because we thought about that, we're like, oh, we'll have a hiatus and then we'll work on our thing, but it's everyone's telling us when we have the time. It's well, the only time is our time, so let's just make it.
Yeah, you can't wait. Yeah. You can't wait till you have the time, or you can't wait to be inspired.
Just gotta do what you gotta do.
There's a thing I read which was the difference between a professional artist and an amateur artist. And one of the things that stuck with me was an amateur artist will when they get art block, they just kind of ride it out, they just kind of rest or whatever, oh, I have art block, I can't do anything. But a professional artist forces it because, they have to. Mm-hmm. So they, break through the art block. It's I don't feel like drawing. Well, I can't afford to not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gotta get them muns.
Yeah.
So, Nina, did you want to do one of your questions?
Well, this one's kind of indulgent for me. It's not specifically related to cartoons or...
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed that, Tara, you make toys, and I'm a huge toy junkie, and I know you too, Zach, you made those little gator guys that were really cool. When did you start designing and making your own toys?
Back in high school. I wanted to do everything in high school.
Aww.
My mom taught me how to sew, and then after that, I just branched off oh, I can make jewelry, I can make pendants, I can make masks, I can make... I don't know, I just want to try to make everything.
Yeah, it's so diverse, the stuff that I've seen.
Thank you. I just did what anyone who can't, get the experience where I was at the time in high school. I just did it all on the internet and just watched tutorials, and I went to the conventions, and I just went to DesignerCon. So while we were doing the LGG campaign, I was also working on DesignerCon toys at the same time. And I learned a lot from just what people gave me advice on, and independent designers, and just learned and trial and error, so I wasted a lot of material to get the good ones.
Yeah. Do you have any plans for Long Gone Gulch toys, or like you have any ideas kicking around in your head?
Do, and there were a couple unlockable content that we wanted to make out of some of the characters, and I'm trying to get in the works of maybe making like some type of figure, because we took the maquettes to DesignerCon and everyone's like, I want to buy this, where can I get it? And we're like, well, we can't make those are one of a kind. They're like, you can just make a mold out of these, and I was like, well, we would ruin them. It's like, we like these, so we do have plans, but it depends on how far in the campaign, and maybe afterwards we'll think about merchandise, because I do have a lot of things in mind.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, that's kind of like, you need the product first before you can merchandise it. But and congrats on those vinylmations that you designed.
Oh,
it's so cool that they got made into toys, like, that you can buy.
Pretty much that meeting was, my boss Paul showed me them, and I was like, I'm going to buy these, they have to look good. And he's like, well, I don't have the time, you want to do them? And I was like, yes.
Someone else designed them, and he was supposed to do notes, right? And then you kind of just
redid
redid all of them.
That's so cool.
And I did other sets, so hopefully they do more, because I've done season 2 and even season 3 stuff already, so I don't know. They didn't, it was very weird when they didn't tell me when it came out. I just kind of saw them on the shelves. So who knows, they might be there in a week or two, and I'm like, oh, here they are. They're ones I made before, so with merchandise, they never tell us when Mickey merch comes in. I just kind of find it.
Yeah.
So I'm the go-to on my crew that finds all the merchandise at Target, and in Japan has it, but even in Japan it's harder to find because they're called Mickey Mouse shorts, but in Japan it's like Mickey underwear.
So shorts translates to underwear or something.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to find our merchandise.
Oh, wow.
At least have the merchandise you want.
Yeah. When I do find a show and the crew loves it.
That's awesome.
It was fun. I hope I get to do more consumer products work in the future.
Yeah, it seems really fun, like a different creative angle.
And I always tell Paul, I'm like, I'm going to buy this, so if you don't have the time, I'll do it for free. Just because I'm going to buy all this stuff.
So, you've both done work under the specific title of character designer, and that's somewhat more of a specific gig than just like animating or just like storyboarding scenes and whatnot. I feel like everybody knows roundabouts how that works just from looking at how a storyboard is made up and stuff. But I know like a couple artist friends who like want to get into character designing, but like they don't really know what that specific job entails. As like, what are your responsibilities as a character designer from like getting the assignment and then getting the character you design onto the show?
Okay. Well, since I work in
Yeah.
shorts, so each short takes 2 weeks for the designers to get to, and we get like a storyboard, a handout with all the designers, and we go through the whole entire board with the writer and Paul Rudish, and they say, okay, we have enough coverage on Mickey running, we have enough coverage of him sitting, but we need this exaggerated pose, we need a 3/4, we need this character, and we just go through the whole entire list, and then Paul makes a list of everything we need, and we have 4 designers on our show, and we divide, okay, Tara's good at drawing Minnie, so give her all the Minnies, and Andy Soriano's good at drawing hairy Pete's, so have him draw the Pete's.
He draws the
All
best
those
hair.
Pete's are so great.
Those beats are amazing.
And then we just split off the list, and during the 2 weeks, we'll do constructed sketches. So it's all line of action with a bunch of like scribbles and stuff of like what we want the pose to be. We put it on the server, and then Paul looks at it, puts his notes like, oh, raise Donald's beak a little higher, make this outfit a little clean lined, and then he'll give it back to us, and that could take a day or two, depends on his time. And then when we get it back, we ink it, and we flesh it out, and then we clean it ourselves on our show. And we give it back to him, he proves it, and then it gets shipped over to Mercury for building the characters for the animation.
Awesome. Really, that's really interesting.
Yeah, entirely. I knew none of that stuff going in.
Yeah, no.
Is there one person on the team who's like the goofy specialist? Because whoever that person is killing it.
All you guys.
I think it's all of us at this. We're all pretty much pros at this point on Mickey to know.
My favorite poses was when Mickey was like petting Pluto, and the episode where Minnie babysat him.
Who's a good one? Those are
all you.
Yeah, those are mine.
Those are, oh my god, those were so cute.
When he goes, my little Pluto, moo moo.
Oh, it was so cute.
It's a team effort. Like,
it's different because they're the Mickey shorts are a special thing. It's not like a show.
Yeah.
Right.
So
with Rick and Morty, it's a little different.
It was different when I was on Rick and Morty. We would still get a handout of all the things
needed for the episode.
Needed in the board, and we wouldn't be in the meeting. We would meet with the lead character designer, and he would just kind of assign things to us, and we would do, if we need to do a front view, side view, or back view for new characters. It was a lot of
turnarounds.
Yeah, turnarounds and a lot of side characters and stuff.
A lot of crazy aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Zach did a lot of the Cronenberg mantis monsters.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's
Those
awesome.
Those are the best ones.
That's, yeah.
I was literally about to ask if you worked on anything like any like the more notable moments from the show. That's really cool.
Yeah, I did a bunch of the mantis monsters and the Cronenbergs, some of the Scary Terry kids in his classroom.
The visual style of Rick and Morty is really interesting because like I've talked to a lot of people who have like not gotten into the show yet or before they got into the show. It's like I don't really dig the visuals, and I think it's them just kind of looking at the humans, which are it's very stylistic, it's very sort of minimal. But then once you get into like full episodes and you're seeing this crazy menagerie of weird, gross aliens, like there's a lot of really smart design going on in that show, and I suppose the goal is to juxtapose it with the sort of normalcy of the Smith family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think the reason why he wanted him to be that style was he loves The Simpsons, or Justin really loves The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And he probably wanted that same kind of format.
Yeah, like a format for the humans, but it's kind of weird because I think they broke it.
Yeah, season 2 was like crazy.
And especially with the way the humans look, they definitely broke that format because the main cast was designed by a friend of ours, Mike Chillian, who worked on Uncle Grandpa and stuff. But he didn't work on the show, he just worked on the pilot. And then they had a different art director come in and kind of, did everything else. And that's why it might not match the main cast that much.
Because it was a different person.
But I think it's a good direction.
That's awesome.
Oh, really interesting.
What's really funny is that a lot of people think Summer is really hot, but our friend who designed her was like, that character's the ugliest character I ever drew. I don't know why people think she's so hot.
I don't know, because
I feel like she's plain at worst.
Yeah, but Morty, the way his hair works is weird. It's like a
Yeah.
helmet. It's like, I don't know, Morty's kind of like the weirdest character on the show to me.
And Rick is like always drooling. Like that's I don't know.
Even when he's like submersed fully in water or some other fluid, you can still see the drool. It's that thick and viscous.
Thick.
It's part of his mouth chart, so they can't get rid of it.
Oh.
That's great.
That's amazing. Back to Long Gone Gulch. As I said, we've kept an eye on a lot of other crowdfunded animation projects. We haven't seen any others that used GoFundMe. What drew you to that platform as opposed to, say, Kickstarter or Indiegogo?
I went with it because a year or two ago, I used GoFundMe to help my mom with her cancer. And that went with flying colors, and I helped her, and she's cancer-free, and
That's awesome.
she's all good to go. And I got so much love and support from the GoFundMe, and it led to other people that I never even heard of, so I just thought, okay, this is a good format. And we have a friend who also created a GoFundMe for an animated thing, and I was like, okay, so this isn't for medical issues or like charity things. It's also for the industry. And I've talked to a lot of people, and they said, oh, right now Kickstarter's a little oversaturated. You should try this since you had such good success from it in the past, and see if like all the people from that can move on to this. And if not, like, you can try the other ones, but you've already figured it out, and it's like seems like a new one that people are already starting to use for the industry, because we're trying to make a pilot, but it's pretty much just funding to hire people.
Yeah, like so many of those other platforms, they put a limit on like when you can donate money, and like that's not always the most helpful thing, because sometimes it takes time to raise funds, so it's better off to just keep it open and let them come in. And
we're very aware that it was Halloween time. People wanted to buy their expensive costumes, and it's getting to the holidays, and everyone wants to get Christmas gifts, so we understand. And it's like, we know that if we get the support, eventually we'll still make it out like super quick, so we'll whip out the cartoon once it's funded. But we appreciate every cent that goes into it, and whenever it happens, we're thrilled, but it can take a while, so we're okay with that because we're working. So
yeah, like I appreciate it. Like I'd like to donate, but again, it's the holidays and so on and so forth. It's it's hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of these projects tend to attract, I feel like, younger people, like college people, artists, and they don't tend to have that much money.
Man, they're living off of ramen bricks. They can't donate 150 like Nikki did.
Yeah, so it's.
I couldn't have done that.
That was an objectively poor decision.
It was the same week I bought a car. It was not a good move.
Your heart's just too damn big for your wallet.
Think of all the ramen you could have bought.
Yeah, so with GoFundMe, it's not like there's no like campaign window. It goes until you meet your goal.
That's
Correct.
right. Mm-hmm.
It seems like a lot of people are going to move to that coming on, because like.
Yeah, and
I think so.
It's pretty good, and then we can take out the money whenever we want. So if we really wanted to, we could start on something early and get like the animatic done while we're waiting for the rest of the donations, because we have that portion already raised.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we want to get started, and like we're really excited to like just get on it, but we know we have to wait.
Yeah.
So that's the hardest part. Is like, we got it all set.
We know we might not make our goal until sometime
next
year, January, February, March.
But part of the advantage is that all the money that's been given is yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when I pledge, I noticed to say all pledges are non-refundable, which is for on the donator side very different from Kickstarter, where Kickstarter's like that money is kind of in flux until the campaign's over. But so everything now you have access to, right?
Yeah, it's safely in the campaign until we feel we should take it out, but we're not going to until we have enough to do a certain portion to show, so that more people would want to donate after we show them a little bit of like the animatic of the episode,
Yeah, and that also helps you out, because then you can use that, what in Kickstarter would be theoretical money to help sell the product more, get more donations. That seems like a pretty good platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it. Our dog sneezed.
Aww, I was wondering what that was. That's adorable.
Yeah, I hope GoFundMe, catches on, because it's a pretty good site.
And our friend made all his money on there, and
how much did he make?
His was 20,000.
He made 20,000. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know how long it took him to make it, but he reached it. So.
I
don't think it took too long.
Not too long for him, but he has lots of followers. But.
Yeah. So it's possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Nina, did you have anything else?
Oh yeah, what's your favorite project you've ever worked on, for both of you?
Teen Titans Go. It's
You get to do more.
Yeah, like when I was doing character designs on Rick and Morty, it was my first character design gig, so I was sometimes stuck with doing just like background characters and things like that, and the other designers got to do like the Mr. Needful and kind of more like featured characters.
Right.
But on doing storyboards on Teen Titans Go, we get a little more creativity
and you pretty much animate on some of your boards.
Yeah, the way we do boards is a little different than most productions. We do them in Flash, timed out to an animatic. So
with your show, you guys already have the voices from the voice actors.
We board to the voices as opposed to like an Adventure Time or a Clarence, which is like they write the episodes. It's board driven, but ours is script driven.
So more like Gravity Falls.
Yeah. We get to add visual jokes. If there's like a montage with just music, that's all us. And it's fun because the guys that do the voices, I mean, it's the same people from the old show, but they're putting on their comedy pants and
they cranked it up to 11,
like they're great at it. Like
Scott Menville is at this point playing a completely different character.
But it's hilarious and I love it.
Of course, Robin is.
I like the Robin.
Oh my
in this.
god, he's
He's such
an asshole.
Amazing parody of the original because he was so serious all the time and like deconstructing that and making him just this sad man.
Sad boy.
It's really funny.
That's what it is, yeah. And it's like Robin's my favorite to board to, like doing all the crazy poses, like when he freaks out, like it's so much fun. I love it.
When he's his baby Batman moments, and it's just like,
oh yeah. He we get to add so many like Batman moments.
Yeah, I love that about Teen Titans Go is that you get to reference the greater DC universe and like bring out the comedy of it. Like I love just Batman and Commissioner Gordon just sitting in the police car eating donuts. Like,
yeah, they love adding those references, but it's weird sometimes because like some characters we can't use, some characters we can use, but it's like all Warner Brothers, so it's like why can't we use like Superman or like it's a weird legal thing, but.
Yeah, it's really complicated with those characters.
When we can do it, it's fun. I was happy I got to add Harley Quinn in an episode because she has never been in an episode.
Oh,
that's
cool.
really awesome.
I don't think I've seen that one. I have to check it out.
It was, what is it? The one with the fortune cookies. I think it's called The Next Proposition You Hear, where they all obey the fortune cookies because
they don't know how to make decisions on their
Yeah,
own.
they don't know how to make decisions on their own.
Those goobers.
There's a scene where Robin is checking the mail, and my note was, make him get excited about a weird magazine. So I made it clowns and pizza, and it's Harley Quinn holding a pizza. And Dan Hipp got to design it and everything, and it was cool.
That's so cool.
That's really awesome.
So,
Tara, what was your favorite
I talked too
thing?
long, sorry.
It's fine.
Well, my answer's obvious because I only worked on one show besides development projects that I can't talk about. So, yeah, Mickey Mouse.
But Mickey's a pretty sweet gig. So.
It's a
love
very good gig. Like, it's like a darling in like the animation world right now.
I get to draw Mickey weird and ugly and then cute and cuddly.
You get to draw
like
all
chained up.
the reference characters
Yeah,
too.
it's funny. They let me do most of the cameos from other Disney movies. Like I did the Snow White and the Wish Upon a Coin.
Oh, that's my favorite one.
Favorite one. Oh, when he's like running through the forest, like, oh no!
But like that's the best line. What happened?
Yeah, I did most of the interaction between Minnie and Mickey in that episode, and then they pretty much told me, okay, we gotta go to the vault and get the spreadsheets for Snow White. We need you to draw this Snow White scene to confuse the audience that they're watching the movie and not our shorts.
That's so cool. Did you do the Three Caballeros?
That was Steven DeStefano, who is amazing, and he's a cool story because he works on our show, but he lives in New York. So that's just how good he is. He gets to be at his house working on Mickey, but still working on our show.
Wow.
Lucky him.
He did a lot of work on Hotel Transylvania 2.
Oh.
And the Popeye movie. Cool. Yeah.
Well, he worked with them on Dexter and Powerpuff
Dexter.
and all that
All the
stuff.
people on my show are all from Dexter, Samurai Jack, Powerpuff Girls.
That's cool.
That's really cool. Like we're
big Gendy.
Yeah, we're big fans of Gendy and Craig McCracken and Lauren Faust and all them. Obviously.
Yep.
They're the best.
Yeah, but sometimes I'll draw characters that reappear, but I know DeStefano for a fact did them in that Mexico episode. But I gotta do a lot of the ones from the past, like Lady and the Tramp and Pinocchio's one, and
oh, that Pinocchio bit was great.
He just had a really stereotypical Italian accent.
I think that's what Paul and the writers wanted. They wanted the most like badly like cited line from these child Craigslist actors.
Yeah.
They're like, the worst one. We want the worst one.
Oh boy! Don't tell him that though. When you give him the gig.
I don't know if they even picked the worst one. I don't think they had a say. I think, like, the people in charge had a pick.
You said you had to get spreadsheets out of the Disney Vault. What does that entail? Because when you say that, I imagine that scene from Akira where they go into the Sub-Zero containment elevator.
Yeah, we do that sometimes because Paul's so into making sure that we do it right. Yeah. So we'll make a day where we go to this library that's by our studio, and they have a lot of original cells and spreadsheets, and you need a lock and key just to get in, and
it's like historical documents.
And we'll be like, okay, Casey Jr. is in this Tokyo episode. We have to go get that train spreadsheet from Dumbo, and we would go over there and get it, and then draw it in our style. But we have to make sure that it's exactly what Paul wants, and have it transition so it still looks like the original character and looks like our show. But we get to do that every so often, which is pretty cool. But I do most of the cameos, so I get to do that a lot.
Oh, it's so cool.
So, Nikki, you had a couple more lighter questions, and then we can probably wrap this up.
All right.
Well, I actually want to... Tucci, you had something about Teen Titans Go, which I want to... Do you want to get into that? Or?
I mean, we were already talking about it, and it's just that... obviously, being so vastly different from the original series, like, a lot of people, like, didn't smell what you were stepping in with that. So like, I guess, like, and that's been referenced a few times in the show. Like, a handful of episodes will, like, sort of poke fun at the whole controversy. So, like, I guess I just wanted, like, a direct, like, straight from the horse's mouth, like, how do you guys handle... coming off of such a different show, but then, like, both homaging and parodying it.
Yeah, well...
They all love Teen Titans.
Yeah, everyone... all the... Aaron is the showrunner. He loves the original show. We all love the original show, but that's not
what
our show.
Wanted.
And the network didn't want that. Because they knew... they liked the comedy from the original show, and they were like, give us a show of Teen Titans that's just comedy.
And you're still getting the Titans, you're just getting exaggerated versions of the Titans.
Yeah, and it's not like the original show never got wacky. Like, it got plenty wacky.
Yeah.
It's just funny because all of them were self-aware. Like, everyone on the crew is just like, well, we can't do anything about that. We can't bring back the original show, but we can bring... the original show in a joke, or we'll be like, they always do that, so...
And like, sometimes I say it's almost like a South Park for kids, because they kind of make fun of people making fun of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I love when they use that bit from the Troubled Tokyo movie, but, like, sort of dubbed over it and just made it, like...
But it's all the original voices, so it's hilarious.
It's like one of those abridged series, but with the same cast. I think that's my favorite moment in the show, was that dream sequence.
There's another one that just barely came out where what's his name?
It's called the Fourth Wall. It just came out. You guys should check it out. It's Control Freak.
Oh, that's his name.
He takes over the Titans and he says,
I'm rebooting.
I'm gonna reboot you guys. And they're like, you can't reboot us. And he's like, I already did it once. And then he gives them a DVD of the original Titans, and they watch it, and they're like, we were so much cooler. What happened?
And then at the end, they watch the whole series, and like, what? That's how it ended? What a cliffhanger! There needs to be more.
And they end up, and they talk about like, oh, people don't like your potty humor. They think you're lowbrow.
We're not lowbrow.
We're not low. And then they change the style completely changes, and I won't give it away, but
you should watch it. It's pretty hilarious.
It's a standout episode.
That's hilarious because, like, I mean, a lot of the kids who watch the show now, I mean, they probably didn't watch the original show, so they don't really care about that stuff.
But not like they'll probably get older and watch it.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll be able to appreciate them as two, shows with very different goals that, they're both setting out to do very different things, and I think they're both very successful at what they set out to do. It's just that TTG is so different that it's jarring for a lot of people who are just not willing to accept it for what it is.
Crew that worked on the show like from 10 years ago to work on the show now, it's like not gonna happen.
But I mean, look at the designs. You think you see these cartoony designs, you think it's going to be a show about character development and drama. Like, really?
Yeah, I love their like sort of chibi-fi designs for Teen Titans Go. I think they're perfect.
Yeah, everyone, we all love the original show, and
it's like we both love the original show a lot.
Part of the fun is, I guess, poking at the people that don't like it, because we just think it's kind of ridiculous
to get mad at something like that. Yeah, and like you poke fun at things that you love, right? And it's
exactly like we had a Ninja Turtle episode, and they just did a Justice League one with Weird Al, and
oh my gosh,
crazy. And it's the number one show on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, no, its ratings are crazy. It's very successful.
Yeah, kids are watching it. It's just hated everywhere on the internet. So.
But the people who you're making it for really are the ones who are appreciating it. So like,
that's what matters.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I remember when like SpongeBob was like the thing, and like older kids, I remember didn't get it, or like my parents were like, "This is just the dumbest thing ever." And it's like, sometimes you want your Avatar, sometimes you want your SpongeBob, right? It can be on the same network. It doesn't all have to be the
I have
same
a
thing.
vivid memory of me in like 4th or 5th grade, and me and my friend were like swapping SpongeBob quotes because that's just what you did. And like the teacher overhears us and goes like me, we couldn't have been like over 10. They're just like, aren't you two a little old for SpongeBob? And we were both like, what are you talking about?
No way.
Never.
And then literally,
it gets better.
Literally, like a handful of years after that, like everybody was into SpongeBob from 8 to 80. Like,
oh yeah, it's two of our favorite shows, by the way, Avatar and SpongeBob.
Yeah, like that's the spectrum of like the amazing things you can do with animation and cartoons, and like you need both of them. I feel if you had only one, it would get tiring. But like if everything was too serious, I don't know, I'd get tired.
Yeah, that's why I don't watch a lot of live action TV anymore.
Yeah,
it's all really serious.
I need things to be silly and fun sometimes.
Yeah, I think Teen Titans already did that, where they're like, you guys need to be more serious.
Oh yeah, we did have an episode where they became serious. That was the first episode I worked on.
Was that the one? Was it because like they got chastised by Young Justice?
Yeah. Oh, people were so mad about that episode. Oh my god, it was awesome.
Do we have anything else?
As one thing, we talked about this a bit in our email correspondence, because it's something that we brought up when we first talked about the GoFundMe trailer, was your character of Buffalo Wing. You said that there's been like some kind of knee-jerk reaction to her.
Yeah.
A little.
See, I understand it because, like, Western animation has a rich history of being absolutely terrible to Native Americans.
Yeah.
I trust you guys to not do a bad job with this. I mean...
Everyone's judging too early based upon her looks and her name, but with her, we're gonna do her right, and she's gonna be just as modernized as all the other characters. People just, it's like, her origin story isn't gonna be introduced in the pilot, but we have something special planned out for her. People just have to trust us.
So she's not gonna be a stereotype, you know?
She's not gonna be Johnny Depp in The Lone Ranger.
Free smoke 'em. Yeah. What makes the red man red is none of that stuff. No,
she's not gonna be any of that. We thought about that, and she's going to be an awesome character. We just hope people trust us in the long run, because we can't really tell people her origin so early in the game, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I love her design.
Her design
I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
I think her design's my favorite one.
Yeah, I really like it.
And I like everybody's design.
We think she has the most fan art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, she resonate with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And even the only naughty fan art.
Oh my!
Oh, you guys, you've reached that
God,
that
you've
landmark.
already made it. That's how I judge.
I know.
That's how I judge success. I don't know about any of you.
It was I couldn't. People kept telling me.
We're like, what are you talking about?
They're like, oh, someone drew porn of your thing, and I was like, what? Well, where is it? How can I find it? They're like, oh, and I tried looking on Tumblr, and I found it on Facebook of all places. It's really weird.
That sounds like the craziest day that a person could have.
Oh, it was.
It was just funny how the fans were like, oh, you know, they got like some naughty fan art. We're like, what? What are you talking about?
It's like, no, but none of them will share their sources because they're too embarrassed. It's like, I'm not going to share that Google string.
If someone told me that, like, oh, someone drew Nazi fork stuff of your character, I'd be like, you must be mistaken. I would know.
Yeah. I was like, how have I not seen this before? But
yeah, but again, we would like to tell everyone, just trust us. We're not going to make her a stereotype. She's going to be a cool character that people like.
Yes.
Can't wait to see her.
Awesome.
Speaking of character design, notice that Snag and Rawhide resemble the two of you to an extent. You know, sideburns, the red hair, everything. Are they based on your personalities at all? Or is that just like kind of something that happened?
So we've been working on their designs for years, and what we started with wasn't what the final results were. It just kind of became things we would like to see in main characters. So they're not us at all. They're what we want to see that hasn't been done in main characters and cartoon shows.
Their designs, yes, definitely do look like us now. Their personalities aren't based on us, but when we conceived this and when I first drew Snag, I didn't have the hair, the pompadour. So I think in a way, I became Snag instead of.
That's amazing. Like you drew it, and we're like,
so you're based off Snag.
That's a good look.
It's like I want to be him, you know.
Yeah. So the characters are completely not. It's like just stuff we want to see done in a girl character and a boy character that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone always says, "Oh, it's you guys." Oh.
Maybe I'll shave my head just to avoid the confusion.
Yeah,
maybe
that would preempt a
subconscious
lot
a
of
little
it.
bit.
And a lot of shows they all have a little piece of themselves. Like Alex Hirsch is a twin, and
you guys were even talking about this in the episode you plugged our thing on about creators voicing the characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, yeah, like, I think when we saw Rebecca Sugar do a talk at MagFest, and, like, she basically said that, like, every single character has some part of her inside, because, like, how are you supposed to write a character if you don't relate to them in some way, right?
Oh, that's with anyone, yeah.
Or when you animate, you put yourself, because you're looking at yourself in the mirror when you animate.
Yeah, it's pretty much you acting, so you have to act as these characters, like, you know, what would the jackalope do if he got scared, or what would the Bigfoot do if, you know, how would he walk, you know, you have to act it out, and you're the actor, so it comes from you.
And you just touched upon it, and it was going to be the last thing I was going to ask, because I'm like, I was originally planning on asking about, like, voice actors, but, you preempted that and understand. Do you have any intention of doing any voice acting yourself, or are you going to leave it to other people?
No.
Zach does not want to, but I might do some.
But not for Rawhide.
Not for Rawhide. I don't think I have the yams for Rawhide. I'm particular what kind of voice I want for her, so I might not do that. But I will do maybe a couple characters in the background.
Have you guys done any voice acting outside of Blenderstein?
Because my friend Eric Bauza, I would always hang out with him and go to his voice record, so he would let me do a couple scratch and stuff. So I've done some exercises with them, and I don't know if any of it's been used, but that's the closest thing I've gotten to doing voice work. But it seems like now creators don't really need to have experience. They just kind of do
it just sort of happens. You pitch a storyboard and then they're like, you should be the one doing the voice, and then it's like, okay.
Hey, drawing person, you also talk funny, get in the booth.
Who's that guy in Pixar who's like Roz and Edna?
That's Brad Bird. I was just about to say.
Yeah, he did not set out to voice those characters.
No.
And neither did Penn Ward for Lumpy Space Princess, but they were just like, you do that.
And this may have been in the episode you listened to. Were we talking about Ian McGinty and Welcome to Showside? Or were we talking about something else?
It's
just do
well, and Ian McGinty has a new web series and comic, Welcome to Showside, and when they were trying to cast a main character, they went through a bunch of people, none of them fit, and they're just like, Ian, get in the booth, see if you can do it. And then and then they went with that. So I bet the story for a lot of people doing that is really different. I'm super interested to find it.
That's what happened with Flapjack. They were like, oh, we want Pee Wee Herman to be Flapjack, and then they couldn't get him, and they're like, oh, you just have to be Flapjack.
Yeah, I heard this. I heard that the story was he didn't show.
Yeah, he didn't show up to the recording.
Yeah, because we covered Flapjack in the summer, and he was supposed to show up and just never did. So Thurb was like, something's got to happen.
I think Thurb's voice is better than his.
Definitely.
It's like that's how he talks. That's his voice. It's so weird.
It's a perfect cartoon voice.
I know. It's I won't do any voice.
But we are excited who we already have, so hopefully once we have more funding, we can start giving sneak peeks of who's going to be involved, because we're so excited.
Yeah.
Is one of them perhaps Eric Bauza?
Perhaps, maybe. I don't know.
Wait, who? Eric Bauza? Who's that? Who's that?
That's everything relevant. I had some jokey ones in case we went short, but they don't need to go out. Anybody else have anything else said? Want to ask?
Sure, one of the jokey ones.
Yeah, do the jokey one.
All right.
Do the running.
Okay. We got a running gag on this podcast, and it's something that I've initiated, where I always come up with goofy truncations of show titles. Okay, the first one really was Bee and Puppy Cat, where I abbreviated to Beepy Cat and then just beeps.
I forgot about that one.
We Bear Bears. Originally it was going to be Weebs, but that's a different thing. So now it's We Bagos, which doesn't make any sense. For Long Gone Gulch, what I came up with was Lagooch. Do you hate that?
Lagooch. I can see like a little kid being like, Mom, I want to watch Lagooch. Be like, what do you want to watch? Lagooch.
It's L''Gooch.
I like that.
Great. It's approved.
I think we'll just change the whole thing to Lagooch. That's more marketable.
Please find Lagooch.
Lagooch. 10 years down the road, when it's being rebooted by different people, Lagooch will be the Teen Titans Go of Long Gone Gulch.
Yeah. Oh god. It sounds like some kind of. Sounds like some New Yorker thing, like, "Hey, you Lagooch." Sounds like something one of my family members would say.
It's like a disparaging thing that they would call a French person, not really understanding why they're doing it.
Oh, those Lagooches. Lagooches and their croissants. What are they doing?
Have a donut like a normal person.
Well, I think that's everything that we've got. Thank you so much for doing this with us. This has been really fun and really educating. I learned a lot from this.
Yeah.
thanks for having us, and we hope that you get more people involved to do more.
Yeah.
Hopefully this will legitimize us in some way.
If any other industry professionals are listening, just come on.
These guys are good. You're pretty legitimate. You're fun to talk to. This was a great time.
Oh, thanks.
I'm
Thanks
glad.
a lot.
I enjoy myself as
So
well.
where can people find your stuff? I mean, obviously there's the GoFundMe, which is
Was it GoFundMe / Long Gone Gulch?
Yep.
yeah. And do you guys get like personal art blogs or anything like that?
We both have Tumblr.
Mine is I think it's snaggleteeth.tumblr.com, and it's a hyphen in between snaggle and teeth. And yours is
Purple Peep Bits or .tumblr.com.
Purple Peep Bits.
Not peeps.
She likes peeps.
It has sloths in the background. That's how you'll know you're there.
And then we have an official Tumblr for Long Gone Gulch, which is just longgongulch.tumblr.com.
And you can find us both there too.
Mm-hmm. That's where all the Gulch stuff is. All the Lagooch stuff.
What have I done?
Lagooch yourself to death on the Lagooch Tumblr.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think that's everything.
You can't recover
I think
from
we're
that.
done. Yeah, I think we got it.
So thank you guys so much again. Hopefully we'll keep in touch, and we will send every major update that we get from you, from what we follow from you, down the pipeline to our fans.
Yeah, we will
Thank
shout
you.
this
Great.
down.
There's not a ton of them, but they're very dedicated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them are nuts.
So yeah, we wish you the best of luck with all this. We want nothing but the best. It looks great. We can't wait to watch it and talk about it.
Yeah, if you guys ever down the road like get the pilot or like even a whole series, we'll definitely do an episode just on Long Gone Gulch.
Awesome.
Wow, thank you guys. And when this comes, we'll definitely plug your podcast too, and hope get you some more traction and stuff.
Networking.
And Teach and I are both amateur voice actors, so if you ever need anybody,
Oh, Nikki, please be quiet. Like,
I was doing the Morty voice to hopefully telegraph that I was kind of a joke.
okay.
That's
How do
it.
you
I don't know
how does one close an interview? Go
I think
away.
the other person just leaves.
We all just get up and silently back out of the room, not
Oprah would
breaking eye
Oprah would just like cut them
I
off.
think you stand up, shake hands, and walk out, but we can't do that. We're 3 time zones apart.
You can just say bye.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll
Bye,
say
guys.
goodbye.
Smell you later.
Buddy.
Bye. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.